Alright, this is going to be the first of probably a few recordings on how to find inverse functions. This is from your inverse functions classwork. It's located on this page at the top if you'd like to see the handout. And the problem 142 is here's a function 2x squared plus 1. Its domain has been restricted to include, I guess I should have include 0 to infinity. That means x can be only positive numbers. Okay. The reason they've restricted the domain is this function right here is a parabola. Looks something like this. If they didn't restrict the domain and they ask for the inverse, you'd say, hey, this does not have an inverse because it does not pass the horizontal line test. By restricting the domain, we can't have any negative x values, which eliminates everything on this side of the axis, because these are all where your negative x values occur. And so now the parabola is only that right-hand half, and that does pass a horizontal line test. Horizontal line only hits it in one point, so this function does have an inverse. So that's why the domain has been restricted in this problem. Alright, so let's walk through the steps for finding the inverse. Step number 1 for us that I gave was replace the function notation with a y variable. Okay. Step number 2, exchange x and y. So where there's a y, I'm going to put an x. Where there's an x, I'm going to put a y. And step 3, solve for y. So to solve for y, I'll show my steps in blue and purple. No, let's show them in blue. I'll subtract 1 from both sides, and I get x. Oops, let's use a different color for the results of my work. I'll get x minus 1 equals 2y squared. Next, I'll divide by 2, again showing it in blue, and that gives me x minus 1 over 2 equals y squared. And then finally I will square root both sides, giving me y, I've rotated the equation, equals plus or minus the square root of x minus 1 over 2. Okay, whenever you square root both sides of an equation, you always get plus or minus. However, because of the original statement that our domain was restricted, the inverse function takes on the domain of the original function becomes the range of the inverse function. And what that means is that the y values that come out of our inverse are only going to be these from the domain, only positive numbers. Well, to only get positive numbers out of this inverse, we can only have the positive values in front, or the plus sign in front of the square root symbol. Now we usually don't even show that positive sign. So our inverse is simply the square root of x minus 1 over 2. All of that is underneath the radical. Okay. Normally we don't like a root 2 in the denominator, so we could clean that up, but we don't need to. That's good enough for our purposes. Okay, and that's how you find the inverse.